A ghoulish hand reaches out of nowhere. A headless figure walks down a deserted road, and a pale creature comes crawling across a family's security camera in the middle of the night. These are unknown creatures caught on camera we cannot explain. Keep your eyes on the bottom of the screen here. Someone, or maybe something, slips its hand into frame. This clip was posted to TikTok by user Lori Wolfell Official, who wrote, "Never posted this, as it's genuinely hard to believe, and I couldn't be bothered to be called a liar, but it's too mad not to post. When me and my bestie were younger, a hand appeared in this video after her saying, 'Help me, watch my shoulder when I stand back up.' We posted it on Facebook as it was a funny video, and it wasn't till weeks later someone asked, 'What's that hand?' And it sent shivers down my spine." And yeah, as it should. Something about hands, man, just reaching out of nowhere, gives me the chills. What do you think showed up on camera here? Let us know down in the comments. How'd you like to check your ring cam footage and get met with this? A spindly figure hunched on all fours gallops across the yard. And she kept watching to see if it showed up again, and it did. This video comes from Annie Elizabeth 323 on TikTok, who lives in Tennessee. People were throwing out all kinds of theories in the comments, all your standard cryptid takes, a skinwalker, a rake, etc. Some also said it was clearly just a dude. But even if it is just a dude, it begs the question, why? I don't want to find some random guy in my home security footage crawling around like this either. One commenter named Black Widow shared a pretty creepy story, though, writing, "I saw the exact same thing here in Kentucky, and I was outside walking. My sister had decided she wanted to go on a night walk, and we saw something that looked exactly like that, hunkered down drinking water from the creek. When it finally saw us, it stood up and looked to be 7 foot tall, pale white. I felt it in my bones, ran for my life. We got back to the house and inside, ran up on the porch. Since that night, my butt never goes outside when it's dark." Not sure where this next video was recorded, but you don't need much context to know that a person walking around with no head is just a little bit odd. This couple was out driving. A little ahead of them was a person walking along the side of the road, but as they passed, the driver turned to his partner and was like, "Did you see that? Did I just see what I think I saw?" He told her that the person walking along the road didn't appear to have a head. And he was like, "Oh, come on, no way." He probably just caught the person at a weird angle, but he was like, "You know what, let's double back, just for the hell of it." And so they did. Sure enough, as they passed by, slower this time, it was even more clear. It really didn't look like this person had a head. A lone, headless man on a desolate road. Doesn't get any more classic than that. This video was posted to TikTok by a man named Rob Counts, whose handle is Metaphysical Show. Take a look. Now, a little context. Rob said he often strikes up conversations with folks working the land on a horse stable he sometimes walks by. Being that he's interested in the paranormal, he'll usually end up asking if they've ever seen anything strange on the land. Well, on one particular day, he started chatting with a man working in a horse stable who told Rob he'd recently received a very strange video from a friend. His friend had been out with his dog in the nearby woods. The dog started growling at something in the trees. That's when he pulled out his phone and managed to capture this apparition strolling through the forest. He was so shaken up by it that he was outright refusing to go back to those woods. This next story is pretty outlandish. So back in 2015, alien hunters claimed that a rake-like creature was spotted in Mexico. Filmed near Nuevo Laredo, Mexico, a local rancher went outside after hearing bizarre sounds coming from his roof, only to run into this terrifying, hairless humanoid figure. At the time, there was a lot of talk online surrounding creepy, spindly, hairless creatures like this, with conspiracy theories that people were spotting alien creatures. Some even went as far as to say they were hiding in Central American volcanoes. UFO blogger Scott C. Waring shared his take. Mexico is the most active country in the world for UFO and alien sightings. No one knows why, but we do suspect there are many alien bases below most of Mexico's volcanoes. Around the same time, 4 sightings in Staffordshire, UK, of these spindly, almost Slenderman type entities to suggest maybe sleep paralysis was behind at least some of these encounters, saying, quote, "To get so many sightings at roughly the same time is unusual. One theory is that this has nothing to do with the supernatural and eyewitnesses are experiencing sleep paralysis, where individuals' eyes are open but they are still in a state of sleep and therefore unable to move. There are reports of Slenderman seemingly pinning victims down as if sitting on their chest. that could well be down to sleep paralysis. One UK resident described being awoken just before 2 a.m. by an odd scratching noise in their bedroom, saying, "To my astonishment, there was what seemed like a sphere-shaped shadow by the edge of my wardrobe. As I tried to get out of bed and investigate further, the shadow began to stretch toward the ceiling. It was at that point I found myself faced with the most disgusting, horrific creature imaginable. It was about 8 feet tall, had a white face with razor-sharp fangs." But not every encounter could be chalked up to sleep paralysis. One late-night walker in Staffordshire wrote, "While taking a midnight stroll around Castle Ring last Friday morning, I happened to notice a strange figure in the distance. It appeared to rise out of the trees and hover over the path around 100 meters in front of me. It was a pretty clear night. If I were to compare it to anything, I would say it looked like a stereotypical Victorian gentleman. Long black overcoat with a Homburg hat. It had blood-red eyes that shone in the night sky. It also had a mouth full of teeth that seemed to look like razors. Whatever it was, it stopped hovering and descended back into the trees. Needless to say, I did not investigate any further." What exactly are we looking at here? This mystery beast is usually called the Corfu Island creature, or sometimes the Grecian dolphin. First showed up in this unusual photograph taken off the Greek coast in 2015. A tourist from Scotland, Harvey Robertson, snapped the photo near Parga while on a boat excursion with his family. As they drifted through sea caves, he was trying to capture the vibrant green hue of the water. He didn't spot anything unusual in the moment, but while reviewing his photos later, he noticed that he'd captured the mysterious creature. Robertson described it as looking somewhat like a deformed manatee. Naturally, a lot of skeptics wrote the whole thing off as fake. Others think it might be a genuine living animal, possibly even an Ambliocetus, an extinct amphibious relative of modern whales. Next on the list is the infamous Montauk Monster. So back in July 2008, this insanely creepy creature washed up on a beach in Montauk, New York, and completely broke the internet. Nobody had any clue what they were looking at. The thing was totally hairless, super bloated, and had these sharp teeth, nasty claws, and a weird beak-looking snout. Once pictures hit the web, people went nuts with their theories. Some swore it was just a rotted-out raccoon. Others thought maybe a sea turtle without its shell, or even some exotic pet that got loose. A lot of people also wondered if it was just a fake prop or a prank, but even animal experts couldn't agree on what it actually was, and to this day, there's never been a definitive answer. Now, if you've frequented the channel before, you're probably familiar with the Fresno Nightcrawler case. If you're new around here, let me explain. In 2007, a homeowner in Fresno, California, noticed something unusual on his security camera. Two strange white figures slowly wandered across his front yard in the middle of the night. The larger one looks almost like a pair of walking legs, no visible arms, torso, or head. The smaller figure appears to follow behind it before both disappear into the darkness. The homeowner couldn't explain what he'd captured, and neither could anyone else. The footage was eventually analyzed by paranormal investigators, but no evidence of editing or CGI was ever found. And then in 2011, another security camera in Yosemite National Park appeared to capture similar creatures walking through the woods. The skeptics have said everything from maybe it's a puppet to someone wearing stilts and a sheet, but no one's managed to quite recreate the movement convincingly. And to this day, the Fresno Nightcrawler videos are still some of the strangest pieces of alleged cryptid footage ever recorded. But that's been the video for today. I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, next time.